In the heart of one of the world's most vibrant cities, Wei thought he knew better than to believe in superstitions. But when he mocked the spirits of Hungry Ghost Festival, what followed would shake him to his core. What happens when you disrespect the dead? Hello, I'm Arudai and welcome to Moonskull. If you're looking for tales of horror, the paranormal, sci-fi, and the unexplained, then you are in the right place. I know you 5,000 wonderful fear addicts as well as the 30% of closet horror buffs who still have not subscribed yet are eager to get to the story I just mentioned, so let's dive into Wei's chilling experience. In the bustling streets of Singapore, the Hungry Ghost Festival was more than just a celebration. It was a deep-rooted tradition where the living honored the spirits of the departed. The scent of incense filled the air, and offerings were laid out to appease wandering souls. But not everyone treated these rituals with the same reverence. Wei, a young businessman brimming with skepticism, couldn't believe the fuss. To him, it was just all superstition, a way for people to scare themselves with ghost stories. As the festival took over the streets one evening, Wei decided it was time to prove his point. Walking through the streets lit by the eerie glow of burning joss sticks, he kicked over a few offerings that lined the sidewalks. He laughed out loud, mocking the idea that spirits could be offended by his actions. See? Nothing happened, he jeered, looking at a group of old men sitting nearby. They just shook their heads, their eyes filled with warning, but Wei wasn't listening. He shrugged and continued walking, oblivious to the consequences that might await him. As the night wore on, the street grew quieter. The revelry of the festival seemed to die down, and Wei found himself alone in the darkened alleys of the city. A chill wind swept through the narrow streets, and the once distant whispers of the festival now felt strangely close, echoing in the shadows. Wei's spine tingled, but he quickly brushed it off. He wasn't about to let some ghost stories get to him. Turning a corner, he came face to face with a figure that was standing under the dim light of a flickering street lamp. It was an old woman, her face hidden behind a veil, holding a lantern that burned with unsettling flame. "You should not have disrespected the spirits," she said, in a voice that was cold and raspy and filled with unearthly weight. Wei laughed nervously. "They're just stories," he replied. But something about the woman's piercing gaze unnerved him. She pointed down the alley, and before he could stop himself, Wei felt an inexplicable pull to follow her. He walked down the alley, the air turning colder with every step. The whispers grew louder, more urgent, and Wei began to feel like eyes were watching him from every shadow. He quickened his pace, but no matter how fast he moved, the whispers followed. The very air seemed to be thick with something unseen, something malevolent. Suddenly, the street lights flickered and went out, leaving him in total darkness. His heart raced as panic set in, and he fumbled for his phone. The dim light from his screen revealed something horrifying. Ghastly faces, pale and filled with sorrow, surrounded him, their hollow eyes filled with anger. "Do you believe now?" a voice whispered in his ear. Wei spun around, but there was no one there. The faces grew closer, their ghostly hands reaching out for him, and then he stumbled back, his breath coming in short, panic bursts. Desperate to escape, Wei turned to run, but tripped on something lying in his path. One of the offerings he had knocked over earlier. As he fell, everything around him began to distort. The world blurred and twisted, and he found himself trapped in a dark, empty void. The whispers grew deafening, and Wei realized the gravity of his mistake. The spirits he had disrespected were closing in on him. "You have disrespected the dead," the old woman's voice echoed around him. "Now you must face their wrath." A cold hand gripped his shoulder, and Wei opened his mouth to scream, but no sound escaped. The spirits surged forward, and the darkness enveloped him. The next morning, Wei was found lying unconscious in the street, his pale face and eyes wide with terror. He never spoke of that night again, but something inside him had changed. The once confident young man now walked with a haunted look in his eyes, and from that day forward, Wei made sure to show respect to the spirits he once mocked. Every Hungry Ghost Festival, he would participate with reverence, never forgetting the lesson he learned on that terrifying night. And there you have it, folks, a haunting tale of a man who mocked the spirits and paid the price. What do you think happened to Wei? Was it all just a trick of the mind, or did he truly face the wrath of the dead? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you want more of this kind of wild paranormal real life madness, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe, because we got plenty more where that came from. I'm Arudai, and until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, sometimes the scariest things are the ones we can't explain.